Holy sequel, Batman! It's time to talk about Buzzards Bowl by John Palladino. Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to A Fictional Escapist. My name is Kris, and today's video is the Buzzards Bowl book review. This is book 2 in the tragedy of Sedaine and the follow-up to the Trials of Ashmount. First of all, happy release day to John Palladino. The book is out today. Go ahead and order it, or if you're in the US, I'm in the future, it'll be out for you in a couple of hours, so you can pre-order it if you want to. Before we jump into the review today, I just want to shout out that it does contain spoilers for book number 1, The Trials of Ashmount, so if you have not read The Trials of Ashmount, cut out here. This review is not for you. Go read it and maybe come back and have a look at it then. Also, before we start, make sure you check in the description box down below for links to my social media and Discord should you want to come along for the ride. John Palladino has delivered a sequel which was mental. It has so much happening inside of it. Lock up literally anyone that you loved from the Trials of Ashmount because no one is safe here. Book 2 in the tragedy of Sedaine takes absolutely no prisoners. It is unapologetic and it is dark as hell. Buzzards Bowl takes place directly after the events in book 1. If you haven't read book 1, like I said, stop here. This is not the review for you. Go and read it and come back later. Spoilers to the Trials of Ashmount are happening in 3, 2, 1. Ashmount has a lot to hide. Magic, as it's been taught and sought in others throughout the first book, has a sordid history that has finally come to the light throughout the story. There are a number of powerful people who want Ashmount and everything that it stands for obliterated. There's no other word for it. It's the only way, in their opinion, to rebuild the world and harness the magic within it to its full potential. A new world means new rules, and it also means no more lives for the magic users who have been at the forefront of this world for some time now. Leading the charge against Ashmount and the current Magici or magic users of the world is a secret society of the legendary Escapists, who will fight to expose the shortcomings of those magic users, even if it means taking everyone and everything in the current world. The POVs from book 1 will learn about the sordid histories of the magic, the machinations, and the sheer brutality of the world around them. From the competitions of Buzzards Bowl itself, the namesake of the book, keeping the rich and powerful in their place, to the desert clans who wield powerful and ancient elemental magic, strong enough to bring the world to an end. Unlikely friendships will surface and many will die. Buzzards Bowl has been one hell of a ride. Now, I really can't give away too much more without giving spoilers away for Buzzards Bowl as well as the Trials of Ashmount, so we'll keep it fairly vague in terms of the plot. What I will say is that this book was phenomenal. I cannot state that enough. John has done such a good job of bringing all of the elements from the first book and then answering the questions that were burning in my head throughout that whole experience of reading the Trials of Ashmount. The world, the magic, and the characters all blew wide open in the second installment. I will say for this one that the world and the magic sort of go hand in hand, with the histories of both being expanded upon as things fell into play. We find out that Demry Slan, our magic user with a grudge, discovered that Ashmount was in fact lying to its students, and there were more ways to unlock schools of magic than originally thought. Those attuned to the world of magic did not need to be limited to one of these schools or one of the branches that were being taught at the school, but someone with the knowledge only needed to know how to unlock extra magic throughout those people who could wield it. On top of that, he's also going on a journey to discover new magics of the world, and we see several different, more powerful magics explained as the book progresses. These magics are seldom spoken about because the world doesn't want them to know. The Escapists have had enough of the lies surrounding these magics and continue to harness and teach amongst themselves wherever possible, spreading knowledge of powers beyond anyone's wildest dreams. I really like seeing some of the rumored magic come into play, or those just touched upon from book 1 come to life here. I did quite like the magic of the imbuers, I hope I pronounced that correctly, in book 1, and this is the magic of the desert users. So to become an imbuer meant that you could then harness elemental magic, and I really like seeing this come to the front of the Desert Clan sort of storyline with Villic, the imbuer, and as that cross paths with other storylines in the book, seeing this in action was, this magic is destructive and it's awesome. But along with that magic and the expansion of that and the world and the history surrounding it, we also got to uncover more of the interconnected machinations between the powerful players within the world here. I would be remiss not to talk about the namesake of this book, Buzzards Bowl. It's an arena full of gladiators who are often expected to do unspeakable things for the sake of entertainment. Now, not only is this an interesting commentary on things that happen in the real world and the links that humanity will go to be entertained, but it also opened up in the world a underground money laundering, power plays and revenge plots, which kept the book entertaining the whole way through. My favourite character of the series is a big part of this particular storyline, Elderbrock, which I probably pronounced incorrectly as well. He becomes quintessential in the Elkovics plot to destroy the Magicae at the centre of the games, because these games do host quite a lot of magic users to be able to make them a reality. The amount of growth and healing that this one character has to go through, yet he's so unlikable that somehow you still kind of end up rooting for him towards the end of this book, and seeing that growth pattern and what happens, the events that lead to events, was awesome. And it was just, there was so much in this book, it was kind of insane. Once again, I really enjoyed the interludes who sort of piece together little bits and pieces of the plot. If you are looking for it, you don't necessarily have to be paying a lot of attention to the interludes if you're not reading it for that. If you're reading the book for entertainment's sake, you're going to have a good time anyway. But if you are looking for those little pieces of a more intricate plot, they are there for you in the interludes as you go along. And I really love that aspect of both the Trials of Ashmount and also Buzzards Bowl, as we got little snippets of different people coming to the forefront of a bigger plot. Along with this intriguing plot and what felt like non-stop action on the page, Palladino writes in a certain way that really grips the reader's attention. So Palladino's prose is something that I would describe as a simple prose, which is short, sharp, and snappy. It's the type of prose that becomes addictive, and it keeps the story flowing without needing to take a breather. You can just continue on. You want to continue on because it's so damn easy to churn through. It did such a good job of wanting me to keep reading while also building up some of those magnificent elements that keep this book great. If you haven't guessed yet, book 2 blew my expectations out of the water. This may be one of the best sequels that I have read. I had such a good time with it. I can see this series becoming an all-time favourite of mine once the third book comes out, and one that I will want to reread. This is going to be for fans of Abercrombie / George R.R. Martin. And when I say that, if you're looking for Abercrombie's style and wit and quick-paced prose with Martin-like brutality and character work where you're waiting for a bigger plot to come into play, but you're getting to know the characters along the way in short chapters and in short POV style chapters and characterization, then Palladino is going to be your guy. I had a really good time with Buzzards Bowl. I can't wait to see what John does next. I am very excited for book 3. Have you read this one? Are you going to pick it up? Are you excited to read it? Have you pre-ordered it? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like the content, give one of those. If you want to see more of it, click subscribe at your will. I'll catch you in the next video. Ciao.